Hey everyone, I'm Sarah Fish.
And I'm Brandon Price.
And this is Fish
or Price Ranch.
Good morning everyone, we're here at Fisher Price Ranch and I was asked by one of my followers here if I would let you know who my favorite doe was that is bred and that we're excited for kids on. So every morning I do a walk. I take my hot tea and I go for a walk and I just kind of do a head count, make sure everybody looks okay. And Evie is upset that we're no longer milking, but it's her fault. She dried up, not me. So she's wanting on the milk stand, which is right outside our gate here. But she is dried up, so no longer milking her. But I'll show you guys. We'll go on our little walk and check everybody, and I'll show you who my favorite doe is. Well, there's Tipsy. She's doing good. All right, so Bonnie is my favorite doe. Hi, Zara. Hi, pretty girl. What you doing? My hands are full, baby. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I know. Are you a good girl? Are you a good girl? Yes, you are. Yes. Okay, here. Let me see if I can rub you with my foot. There you go. Okay, good girl. Go crazy. She always goes crazy in the morning. Oh, you're so silly. All right. So Bonnie, she's actually standing at the top of the hill there. She is my favorite doe. I'll tell you why. We actually got her back when we got our original Kikos. And she was so wild. I didn't have a YouTube channel back then, but if you guys followed me on Facebook, I actually had videos where I had to makeshift a pen with a door, and then I had a string 30 feet long attached to the door. I'd throw food in the pen, and then I'd walk to the end of the rope and sit down and wait patiently till she went in there, and then I had to pull the door shut. That was the only way I could catch her because she was so wild. And now, 3 years later, she's my sweet girl. Yes. Aren't ya? You're my sweet girl. She's still, well, the dog just came up. She still on occasion has her days where she's a little nervous, but otherwise she came a long way. So part of the reasons I really love her is, well, her build is really, really nice. She's got a nice top line, nice and straight. She's very wide in her back, and she carries a lot of meat on her. She's about 145 pounds, I believe. So she's been with us for just over 3 years, I guess 3.5 years now, and she has never been dewormed, and her hooves have only been trimmed, I think, 3 times, and they only got really bad once, and that was my fault. It was a really wet year, and I didn't pay close enough attention, and we had to cut a lot of her hoof away, but she's recovered, and she hasn't had any trimming since then, and that's been over a year. So anyway, she's very low maintenance. She's just come a long way, so it's kind of more special. But I absolutely love what she produces. Now, the first year we got her, she came as open, which was not true. She ended up being pregnant, and she gave us twins, a boy and a girl. And I sold both, and I kind of regretted the sale on the doeling, but I did it anyway. So then after that, I decided to keep her next doeling, which I'm looking for here. She's probably up over the hill, maybe. Let's go see. But I've kept a daughter from her every year ever since, and I absolutely love them. So her daughter from that first year that I kept her, oh, there she is Divinity. If you guys remember Divinity. She was out of Buddy, JCP Buddy, and she is a really big girl. It's actually kind of funny seeing a white goat come out of a black and red doe. But as you can see, color just skipped a generation. So this is Divinity's daughter out of Bazooka, and constant great quality out of these ones. It just kind of continues down the line. So Divinity was her second year daughter that I retained, And then Velvet here is out of Divinity and Bazooka. So then the following year, we bred her to a different buck every year, and she consistently produces very well. So the next year we bred her to Bear Claw. If you guys remember him, he wasn't around long. He was the one that actually went down and he passed away really quickly to pneumonia, some silent pneumonia. And that was really hard. We paid a lot of money for him. But luckily we have a buck and a doe out of him. And Savannah here is one of those crosses. So Savannah is actually pregnant now with her first kids. And as you can see, she is very big around, and she still has 2 months to go. But she was born when it was -5 degrees, and we just made sure that they were dry. We always dry the ears so we prevent frostbite, which she still got a little bit of frostbite, though her ears did not fall off, but it turned the tips of her ears white. So that's why she has the white-tipped ears. But she survived -5 degrees being born. So we're excited to see her kids. And then this last year, we bred Bonnie to Rocky Road before he left us. He moved on to greener pastures, but here is Dahlia. And so we got a hold of her. Luckily, we sold her brother, and so she'll be bred in another year. So anyway, as you can see, she consistently produces really, really nice kids. And so this year, if you guys have been following long enough, if you guys can remember C&K Charleston Chew, aka Charlie, we had actually sold him when he was about 1.5 years, I think. And I just wasn't super happy with how he was growing. He seemed to grow slow. He was really long-legged and just kind of lanky looking. And so I sold him to Dave and Marlena, the friends we stayed with for a while. And, well, after a few months with them, he hit his growth spurt, and now he's over 240 pounds, and he's a beast. I'll include a picture real quick. So as you can see, he is now a beast, and I regret that sale tremendously. I did keep a daughter out of him before we sold him, and that's this doe right here, Snickerdoodle, and she's now pregnant for her first time, but she's a big girl. Now, if you can kind of look at her size, and then compared to the doe right behind her there, Pinky is, what is she? 4 years old, I think. Don't quote me on that. But Pinky's 4 years old. I can't really compare her to Coconut Cream, who's 3, because she had a lot of hard times in the beginning, if you guys remember that video. But look at how big she is. She's just a beast. And so I really regretted the sale because he does throw really nice kids. So luckily, Marlena and I have agreed to use each other's bucks. So we bred Bonnie to Charlie this year. So I am super excited for that cross. I think they're going to be some really nice, big, beefy kids. And, you know, color is always fun. That's always last priority on the goats. You definitely want good quality, nice, thick girls that are great mothers and parasite resistant and all that. But color is always fun. And as you can see, I do like color. I have a lot of different color in my herd. And so it is fun to have the color. It's just an extra added bonus. So anyway, Bonnie and him, I'm really excited to see that cross for beefiness, quality, and then of course lastly color. If we're looking at color, I think my favorite doe that I'm excited to see kid, that's a really tough one. Let me think about that for just a minute. Just kind of show you guys everybody. I think for color, I think I probably have 2 that I'd be excited about. And Dip and Dot, if you guys remember her. Hey, everybody calm down. I know, I just walked right past you. She's hiding over here with her daughter. Now, Dip and Dot was born And she was my first, what I would call dapple goat, even though she just has a couple of white spots. But as you can see, she has a couple of spots here. She does have one on her chest and a couple tiny spots on her other side. And then she has blue eyes. And so anyway, that was unexpected when she was born because her mother was her color, but solid color. And then her dad was Phantom's Maestro, and he was the blue eyes, wattles, white goat with blue spots. And then we get a red doe out of her with blue eyes. So she's bred with Charlie, and Charlie hides spots. So I'm kind of interested to see what we'll get out of these two. And Primrose here is out of Bazooka, and he's throwing some beefy kids. Her and Velvet here are out of Bazooka, and we have a couple others. But these two are my pride and joy right here from last March that were born. They're just so big. Velvet actually surprised me. She just had a huge growth spurt. She's almost, I think she's the same height, maybe a little bit taller than Primrose. She's just not as beefy. But she's got the legs for sure. So anyway, I think for color, Dippin' Dot would definitely be one of them. And I don't know about this year, but next year, you guys know Hawthorne. He's out of Wrecker, and he has the dapple spots. But next fall, we'll be breeding Silver Dust here, and she's solid dapple. Can you get up for us, baby girl? Thank you. So you guys can kind of see her coloring. It's almost marbled. And so we're going to be breeding her to Hawthorne. So I think that would be a really, really cool cross. We should hopefully get all spots on those kids. So anyway, I think those are kind of my favorites as far as this year goes. Definitely probably always going to be Bonnie is one of my favorites. But I also think maybe even Peppermint here, who's laying down, who's out of Sabrina. Now Sabrina, for whatever reason, 2 years in a row has thrown chocolates, and I don't think she ever threw chocolates before at her old farm that she came from. And so Peppermint is chocolate, and we bred her to a black goat, Onyx, who hides blue and other colors. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if she will continue to throw chocolate or if she'll throw different colors. So that'll be interesting as well. And then Hawthorne, of course, is her brother from a year later, half brother. And he's chocolate with spots, and he bred 3 of our girls this year. So it's going to be an interesting year all the way around. We're pretty excited about all of it. We have the most does we've ever bred this year. We have 22 that are pregnant. And so it's going to be a very, very, very busy year. We're very excited. We're hoping to have more goats for sale this year than we've ever had. It's just been hard because we're trying to grow the herd, so we were retaining a lot of the does. I only sold 2 does last year because the lady had been waiting for a year for them. So I decided to go ahead and sell her Truffles, the black and white doe, straight down the line there. I sold her twin doelings to the friend of mine. I actually did a trade. So anyway, this year we're hoping that we're going to have a doe year, because if you guys saw last year, we had a lot of singles and a lot of bucks. So if we have a really good doe year, we will be selling some does this year, or I guess in the spring, if anybody is interested. Alright, you guys, so now you know, Bonnie's my favorite. She probably always will be. She's still the only original goat I have from when we first got into Kiko's. I have sold off all of my other originals as we learned the differences in quality, which I can do another video on that because now our herd has changed so much. Our last video we did on quality was years ago, and it's pretty old. So that could be one of my other videos that we'll do, is like a Kiko confirmation. There is no standard for this breed. They're not a show goat because they're a performance tested breed. So we can go over that in another video. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we will keep you updated on the girls as we get closer to kidding, which is December 20th. See you next time.